What is up, YouTube? Long time no see. Today I'm going to bring you a new video on my top 5 tips on how to get better at gun game. Now, at the making of this video, I currently have a 5.3 win-loss on gun game for Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 2, I believe I had about an 8.6. So, gun game is quite different than all the rest of the game modes, so hopefully by the end of this video, I'll be able to give you some of the tips that I use to help you get better. Now the first tip is actually really simple. So right off the bat, you're going to want to hit your start button and look at the map. Because the radar is always on, you can see everyone on the map, and you really want to take that time to assess your situation. You want to look around and pick out your first kill and your second kill and assume where the next guy's going to come from. Now, not only does this give you an immediate advantage for everyone that's around you, but you're also going to want to look at the spawns. This is actually really underrated because a lot of the times people just don't know the spawns of the map, which is really important for a game like gun game. Now, I would actually wager that the first 30 seconds to a minute of the game are the most crucial for how your game is going to go. See, in gun game, this is my second tip, getting a lead is extremely important, so much more so than in all the other game modes. Because you rank up your guns, you actually get an advantage on anyone that's below you, depending on the gun that you have. Now, this is going to give you both an advantage in your first gunfights, and if you maintain that lead, you're gonna have a bit of a buffer when you get to guns like the sniper or like the rocket, which can sometimes be pretty tricky to get a kill with, depending on the map. Now, the real trick to this is knowing what gun you're on compared to everyone else. So say you're on the Haymaker, and you know that the majority of people are still on like the L-car. So running out into middle map with your Haymaker probably isn't going to be the best idea because they are actually going to outrange you even though they're lower than you in gun rank. Now the next tip is something that's going to take a little bit to get used to, simply because it's knowing the power spots or like the hot spots of the map you're playing on. Now, in every map on gun game, there's without fail a certain part of the map that just gets more action than the others, and it's really important for you to know these. For example, Combine, the biggest hotspot that I like to sit in is maps. In maps, you have 3 spawns that are right near you, and everyone just tends to run towards it, and you can really pick up a lot of quick kills if you know what you're doing inside of maps. And the real trick to this that not a lot of people seem to acknowledge is how to play around these hotspots with your current gun and the next gun that you're going to be getting to. For example, if you're on, say, Breach, and you have an L-car, you know, you can play Lab really well, you can play Hut pretty well, you can play Broken pretty well, but if you have a shotgun, you're not going to want to run towards Hut. You might want to sit in Lab or more towards Broken. So you just really got to keep in mind the gun that you have and what everyone else is on, and you need to remember how to outplay that. You have to counterplay what they have compared to what you have. Now, the next tip is that you need to stay alive. And I know this seems pretty self-explanatory, but let me go a little bit more into depth before you judge me, alright? So, in gun game, it's really important to not have a lot of downtime. You see, because of the whole gun progression system, any bit of downtime that you have where you're not getting kills, someone else on the map is getting kills, which is putting them at a bigger advantage than you. So dying a lot is just a lot of wasted time. And I know it's kind of hard to avoid, but you really just got to keep that in mind. You know, skip those kill cams. Don't waste your time doing those. And this also ties into just idle time. You know, anytime you're not doing something proactive, someone else is. And you really just got to eliminate that. So there's kind of a system that you want to kind of keep to, right? So staying alive is your top priority. And then getting a kill is your next priority. What the fuck was that sound? What the fuck is that? Sorry, I digress. That's my bad, guys. Right, so there's kind of a hierarchy to what you should be doing with your time. Now, you should be staying alive as much as possible. So if you have to choose between staying alive and getting a kill, like if you see a kill but you know you're gonna die as soon as you get it, you should try and not go for that kill. You know, it's a bit debatable depending on where you're at and where everyone else is at. If you have a super lead, go ahead and go for it. But generally, you want to stay alive over getting a kill, you want to get a kill over being idle, and you want to be idle over being dead. Because every time you die, again, you're putting someone else at a better position to kill you again. So you really just gotta make sure you don't die. I know, you know, that's pretty self-explanatory, but it's worth mentioning. Now, my next and final tip is by far the most important tip that I can give you, which is watch the minimap. Now, I can't begin to stress how important it is to just have your eyes glued on the minimap. Literally, unless I'm shooting someone, I am looking at the minimap. You don't even need to be watching your screen half the time. Alright? With radar always on, having good minimap awareness is literally what's going to win you the game. Alright, you're going to have 360-degree awareness of where anyone who's near you, you're going to know they're coming. I mean, like, I don't know how else to explain how overpowered this is if you're good at reading the minimap. This actually leads into kind of 5.5, which is remember to pre-fire. Once you start becoming really good at reading the minimap and using the earlier tips of learning the spawns right off the bat, you can pre-fire the hell out of anybody that's trying to come up on you. So those are my 5 tips for getting better at gun game. Just real quick, let's hurry and go over recap. So right off the bat, number 1, you're going to want to hit the start button, get an idea of where everyone's at, make a plan of how you're going to approach the map. Number 2, you're going to want to try and get a lead, maintain that lead, and just constantly keep in mind where you rank on the gun ranks to other people, so you know how to approach a gunfight. Number 3 is learning the map's hot spots or power spots, and keep in mind which one would probably be best for the gun you have and your upcoming guns. Number 4 is not dying or trying to die as least as possible, and really just decreasing your overall idle time of doing nothing as well. And last but not least is your mini-map. Again, guys, I really cannot stress how important good mini-map awareness is to the game. If you watch me on stream and you watch me play gun game, my eyes are glued to the top left corner. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. If you learned anything or you agree with my tips, be sure to hit that like button. If you think I'm an idiot, go ahead and hit that dislike button. If you want me to go more in depth or you have any criticisms, go ahead and just leave me a comment. Anyway, until next time, I don't have an outro.